Chapter 33. I'm leveled after yesterday's tears, like a field mowed down to stubble. At least Mom and Dad didn't find out that I fell apart. By the time they came home, Amito and I were reading a story. How was it? Mom asked, looking at her phone and sounding frazzled herself. I didn't say, a disaster, you're lucky we're both alive. I said, good enough, not wanting to worry them. Later, I was so spent that I didn't even get to the bus station. I still have all the money in my sock drawer. Now school is happening around me. Students scoot desks, and I realize that Senora Frances has put us in groups. Over here, Kiana, shouts Elena. She rolls her eyes as if she's calling me for the third time. Spanish is Elena's first language, so she acts like this class is for babies. Sometimes she snickers when I give a wrong answer. She even snubs the teacher. That's not how we say it in Juarez, so Spanish varies from place to place. Big deal. Her princess crown is overshined today, as usual. I stand up and slowly push in my chair. Hurry up, she says. Sheesh. I walk to her end of the room and sit across from her without meeting her eyes. Carlos joins us. I nod in greeting, but he passes me to sit next to Elena. He touches the bracelet she's wearing, looks intently at her face, and starts purring in fluent Spanish. He's such a lover boy, I picture Maribel saying. Cállate, Elena says, shoving his hand away, but then bends toward him and smiles. Great, I'm stuck with the two native speakers. Why couldn't they be in a class by themselves, or at least with the 8th or ninth graders? To top it off, all they want to do is flirt. I feel like I'm watching Jaden and Seth all over again. That knife plunges deeper. Don't cry in school. Guys, I pick up the hand up and hold it up. If I focus on what's in front of me, I might be okay. Right now, it's this handout and my grade, which is teetering between B and C. I need these points. Carlos picks a piece of lint off Elena's shoulder and she elbows him playfully. Okay, let's do this, I say. I let frustration stiffen each word. Elena's eyes turn to ice. You do it. You're the one who needs it. Carlos levels his gaze at me. His lips pucker like he's going to spit. Pocha. I pull back as if shoved. My mind spins into the past. I'm with my dad at the special grocery store where everyone speaks Spanish. We've driven into the city to get here. Dad finds big bananas called plantains and starts to show me how to pick a ripe one, kneeling down and saying how we'll cook them when a woman steers her cart around us, purses her lips, and says, pochos, under her breath. My dad leaps to his feet. He asks her a question in Spanish, and she sasses back. We leave without the plantains, and he mutters all the way home. It's not until he tells Mom what happened that I understand. She called us pochos, he said, in front of our daughter. Even Mom was confused until he explained. It's slang. Someone who has no heritage, who's forgotten where he comes from, who pretends to be white. It was the only time I remember Dad saying white, like it being something bad. He huffed around the kitchen, repeating, I'm no imposter. Elena and Carlos are watching me. I straighten my back. You don't have to be mean, I say, hating how lame it sounds. This should be easy for you. Should we help her? Elena asks Carlos coyly. No way. Carlos crosses his arms, obviously trying to impress her. They are two doors slammed in my face. I look at the sheet. A block of text blots out the page. I understand about half the words in the first sentence, less than half in the next one. I imagine my passing grades sinking, disappearing like a coin thrown into a muddy lake. Tears sting my eyes. No sabe nada, Elena sneers. This, I understand. She knows nothing. Menos que nada, less than nothing. Hey, want to hear a joke? I look away, disgusted. What's brown but acts white? Shut up, I surprise myself. She shrugs and fire surges through my body. Shut up, Elena! I stretch out the eh of her name. Spanish style. Coconut. Coconut thrums in my head. I'm standing now, ready to throw a book at her or kick her or slap her with my bare hand. Quijana! Senora Frances's voice is a stream of cool water, but it steams away as soon as it reaches me. You're nothing but a snotty, stuck-up, spoiled brat. You think you're smart because you're just mean, just vicious, just a total Quijana. May I see you in the hall? It's not a question. Signora Frances steps to the door and holds it open, waiting for me to follow. My fire still smokes, but I notice complete silence in the room. Every pair of eyes follows me my walk to the door. On the other side of it, my heart caves in. Shame crackles in my ears. Worse than any punishment is the disappointment that must be on my teacher's face. But I can't even look at her to see it. Kihana, this isn't like you. What's wrong? My shoulders curl forward. I don't know, I squeak. Already the shouting feels like it was done by someone else. A ball of thorns rolls around in my stomach. What did she say to you? My throat closes. All I can think is that I won't take Spanish next year, no matter what. You know you can't shout in class, Kihana, and I can't allow you to insult another student. I can tell Signora Frances is trying to be as understanding as possible, but all I can do is nod and try not to cry. My nose is already starting to run. Kihana, can you look at me? I raise my head and press my lips together, trying to keep the tears in. Look, she says, her eyes soft. I know Elena can be frustrating, but you have to be above that. Signora Frances is trying to make this easy for me. I can tell this even though her voice sounds far away. Louder in my ears are my own thoughts. Elena is right. I'll never be a real Latina. Learning to make a tortilla and speaking a few sentences to Abuela doesn't change anything. How could I think that was remotely enough? I'm going to let it go this time, says Signora Frances. I'll put you in a different group tomorrow. Will you be all right, Kihana? I'm not sure what to say. The bell rings and saves me from having to figure it out. Of course, by lunch, Jaden and Zuri have heard that I yelled at Elena in Spanish class. I'd like to forget it, but they drag me through every detail. What if Senora Frances hadn't stopped you? What would you have said? I think I was going to say witch, I lie. What I really think I was going to say was much worse. Nothing spicier. I'd like to skewer her with this fork. I bet Seth could whop her upside the head for you. Jaden adds drama to my drama like always. She sounds just dreadful, Suri says. Her words capture it well. Kids in other classes ask about it too. Did you actually yell at her? I get the sense that a lot of people think Elena is stuck up because I hear, I bet she deserved it from a bunch of people. It's like telling the story of a car wreck over and over. I'm relieved to hear the final bell, even though weirdly, I feel a little bit like a hero for the rest of the day. Even one of the bus kids whispers about it and points at me. I've never been noticed by anybody but my friends before. I can feel my face get warm, but the attention's kind of cool. At home, I see a note on the kitchen table. Dear Kihana, I'll be back after Mamito's dentist appointment and grocery shopping. Go ahead and eat a sandwich supper. Mom's at class. See you after 6. Con amor, Dad. Okay, time to buy a bus ticket.